Ever wondered why Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States, was targeted for assassination? Today we delve into this riveting topic, peeling back the layers of political intrigue. Donald Trump, a name synonymous with controversy, commanded the highest office in the land. His tenure was marked by policies and actions that polarized the nation, drawing both fervent support and vehement opposition. But what led to such serious threats against his life? Stay tuned as we delve into the reasons why he was targeted. Before we explore the threats, let's understand who Donald Trump is. Born in Queens, New York, in 1946, Donald John Trump was the fourth of 5 children of Frederick C. and Mary McLeod Trump. His father was a builder and real estate developer who specialized in constructing and operating middle-income apartments in the boroughs of New York City. Trump followed in his father's footsteps, taking control of the family's real estate business in 1971 and rebranding it as the Trump Organization. Over the years, he expanded the company's operations beyond real estate, venturing into various other sectors including hospitality, entertainment, and media. His business acumen, coupled with his flair for self-promotion, turned him into a prominent figure in American popular culture, long before his entry into politics. Trump's political journey began as a roller coaster ride. From changing party affiliations multiple times to his controversial remarks, he was always in the headlines. Despite having no prior political experience, Trump announced his candidacy for the presidency in the 2016 election, running on the Republican ticket. His campaign was marked by unconventional tactics, polarizing rhetoric, and an unorthodox approach to policy making. The real estate tycoon's campaign was initially met with widespread skepticism. However, his promise to make America great again resonated with many, particularly those who felt left behind by the political establishment. To the surprise of many, Trump won the Republican nomination, and in November of 2016, he won the presidential election, defeating Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton. His victory was a clear indication of the deep political divide in the United States. It was a victory that not only marked a significant shift in American politics, but also set the stage for a presidency that would be as unconventional as his campaign. His unconventional approach to politics was both celebrated and criticized. Trump's presidency was marked by numerous controversies and polarizing policies. Consider the immigration policy, for example. His administration's zero-tolerance stance led to the separation of thousands of families at the U.S.-Mexico border. The policy, which aimed to deter illegal immigration, sparked outrage both nationally and internationally. Critics argued that it was inhumane and a violation of human rights. Then there was his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Trump's response was widely criticized, with many arguing that his downplaying of the virus and reluctance to enforce stringent public health measures contributed to the United States' high number of cases and deaths. His decision to withdraw funding from the World Health Organization at the height of the pandemic was another point of contention, and who could forget his approach to international relations? Trump's America First policy signaled a shift away from multilateralism and towards a more isolationist stance. This led to strained relations with some of the United States' closest allies. His decision to withdraw the U.S. from international agreements like the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal was seen as a rejection of global cooperation. His administration's rollback of environmental regulations, too, sparked controversy. Critics argued that these actions prioritized business interests over the health of the planet and future generations. Moreover, his impeachment trials, first for alleged collusion with Russia during the 2016 election and then for incitement of insurrection following the 2020 election, marked significant points of division and controversy. And we cannot overlook the divisive rhetoric. Accusations of racism, sexism, and xenophobia were frequent during his tenure. His use of social media to attack critics and spread misinformation was another source of contention, leading to his eventual ban from several platforms. These actions didn't just stir debate, they also ignited deep-seated anger and resentment in some quarters. This was not just a presidency filled with controversies, but one that polarized the nation, creating a climate of hostility and division that still lingers today. Now let's turn our focus to the threats and assassination attempts against Trump. In the course of Donald Trump's presidency, there were numerous threats and a few assassination attempts that came to the fore. But let's be clear, we're not glorifying or endorsing these acts. Instead, we're seeking to understand the motives behind them. which were often linked to his controversial policies and actions. The first known threat against Trump was in June of 2016, when a British man was arrested at a Trump campaign rally in Las Vegas. The man had attempted to grab a police officer's firearm, stating his intention to kill Trump. His motive? He believed Trump's policies would harm his family in the United Kingdom. In October of the same year, multiple assassination plots were discovered. One involved a group of men planning to bomb a Trump rally in Kansas City. They believed Trump's presidency would lead to a racial war, and they wanted to act first. Fast forward to 2018, another man was arrested after sending package bombs to prominent critics of Trump, including former President Barack Obama. This man was a fervent Trump supporter who believed that the president's opponents were trying to undermine him and the country. Now, it's important to note that threats against presidents aren't uncommon. However, the intensity and frequency of threats against Trump were notable. They were often driven by fear, anger, and a sense of desperation. People felt threatened by Trump's policies and actions, and some took drastic measures in response. These threats and assassination attempts didn't occur in a vacuum. They were a reflection of the deep divisions and heightened tensions during Trump's presidency. They were a manifestation of the fear, anger, and desperation that many people felt. In a sense, these threats were a dark mirror, reflecting the societal turmoil of the time. They were a stark reminder of the power of words and actions and the deep impact a leader can have on a nation. These threats were a testament to the deep divisions and heightened tensions during Trump's presidency. Although Trump survived these threats, they have left an indelible mark on his legacy. The impact of these threats on Trump, his presidency, and the country is considerable. The constant undercurrent of danger not only shaped his time in office, but continues to influence his life and legacy even today. Under the shadow of these threats, Trump's presidency was marked by heightened security measures and a constant state of alert. This, in turn, contributed to an atmosphere of tension and polarization. The threats against him became a rallying point for his supporters, who viewed them as evidence of a deep-seated bias against him and his policies. On the other hand, his detractors argued that these threats were the result of his own divisive rhetoric and polarizing policies. In the aftermath of his presidency, these threats have continued to shape Trump's life. He lives under constant security, a stark reminder of the dangers he faced during his time in office. The threats have also influenced his post-presidency activities. Instead of fading into the background, Trump has remained in the public eye, using the threats against him to fuel his narrative of being a victim of political bias. The legacy of these threats extends beyond Trump himself. They have fueled a deep-seated division within the country, a divide that continues to widen long after Trump has left office. They have raised questions about the nature of political discourse in the country, about the limits of free speech, and about the security of those in power. Despite this, Trump's influence on American politics remains undiminished. His presidency, marked by controversy and threats, has left a lasting impact on the country. His policies, his rhetoric, and the threats against him have shaped the political landscape, influencing not only his supporters, but also those who oppose him. Despite the threats, Trump remains a significant figure in American politics. His legacy, though marked by danger and controversy, continues to play a significant role in shaping the country's future. His impact, both positive and negative, will continue to be felt for years to come. So why was Donald Trump targeted for assassination? The journey we've taken today has shed light on the many aspects of Donald Trump's controversial presidency, the profound divisions he stirred within our society, and the threats against his life. His entry into politics was nothing short of bombastic, a whirlwind of controversy that continued throughout his tenure. His policies, while popular with a significant section of the American population, also ignited sparks of anger and resentment among others. These deep-seated emotions, often exacerbated by the polarizing nature of his presidency, led to a climate where threats against his life became all too common. The threats and assassination attempts against Trump were not born out of a vacuum. They were the product of a deeply divided society, one where political discourse often gave way to vitriol and hostility. This polarization, this us versus them mentality, is a dangerous path that only leads to further division and strife. Yet, it is imperative to remember that the threats against Trump are not just about one man or one presidency. They are a symptom of a larger issue, a society increasingly at odds with itself. While it's clear that Trump was a polarizing figure, the threats against him underscore the urgent need for unity and understanding in our increasingly divided society. It's time to heal these divisions, to foster dialogue and mutual respect, and to work towards a future where such threats are a thing of the past.